Maybe after watching our last video on how to land a job at Microsoft, you have a job offer in hand. What next? Well, know your perks and hacks so that you can get the most out of your Microsoft experience. Microsoft UX researcher Linzi, product manager Dheeraj, and software engineers Jason and Beyza are here to share some secrets. First things first, let's negotiate the offer.
I believe the best way to do that is coming with counter offers. And thankfully, I was able to secure some really nice offers from other big tech companies. So I used them to my advantage and was able to negotiate my salary and my compensation package with Microsoft through that.
And if you want a point of comparison on what other Microsoft employees are making, levels.fyi is always a great resource. Select the job title that you're interested in and change the region if you wish. Now let's learn about the perks. One of my favorite perks that Microsoft employees shared with me was Perks Plus. Employees have $1,500 annually to spend on health and wellness and their hobbies. You want to purchase a drone, a sauna, or take some underwater basket weaving classes with Miss Paws? You got it! All covered by Perks Plus. Here's Dheeraj with some other perks.
I also get a little bit of reimbursement from Microsoft, some tuition assistance. Chicago has a master's program, and it has a set of classes that are held in the evenings. So during the fall, winter, and spring, I take like one class a quarter, and that class usually happens after work. So when I log off, I go to campus, go to class, then I do my homework. And then I come back and work the next day.
They have good gender-affirming care insurance, so that's also important to me and my family.
I think there's lots of opportunities to switch teams or even do a rotation program once you join Microsoft. I think there's always chances for you to explore more or switch careers or switch domains once you are in the company.
I was able to pursue my interests and learn about things that I wanted to work on through letting my manager know that I'm interested in doing more of this type of project. If there is any opportunity that arises for the next semesters, I asked her if she could let me know in advance and we can just schedule it for the sprints. The another aspect of me preferring and liking Microsoft was the immigration support that we get from day one. Unfortunately, not a lot of companies do that, especially here in the US, because the immigration procedures are so expensive. You need to hire a bunch of lawyers. They need to come up with a plan to make sure that you are well supported. And thankfully, Microsoft has resolved this problem through having their in-house team. My initial offer for the new grad position was based in the US. But prior to signing the offers, I got placed into the H-1B lottery. Unfortunately, I did not get selected. H-1B lottery is just determining your ability to apply for work authorization in the US based on an H-1 visa. And it's currently capped around, I believe, 85K. And the number of applicants can be sometimes 400K, 500K. So it was slim chance. And I think the company is also aware of that fact. So thankfully, my offer was not rescinded because I didn't get selected in the lottery. As Microsoft has an amazing program called the rotational program, where if you are unable to secure a visa or get your immigration sorted out before joining the US headquarters, they place you into Vancouver, BC for a brief amount of time that's ranging from 18 months to 24 months, sometimes more. That will allow for them to make sure that you have your visa in hand before starting working at Microsoft in the US.
My current favorite perks are being able to work from home, being able to work remotely. That's important for me. Over the pandemic, I've been at home with the dogs. We have 3 dogs, and it's really nice to be able to work at home and be with them and be able to walk them in the middle of the day. Since the pandemic and everybody working from home, I feel like at Microsoft, people have kind of built up a good experience with knowing that it's not office first only. It's, we try to make meetings accessible for people regardless of if they're in building or working remote. And so I think that, we've kind of built up a good culture of, making sure that there's always a Teams meeting attached to invites. When people join the meeting in a room on campus, they invite they log into the Teams. So people remote can accept them and work with those.
I really like the new campus. They have amazing buildings. Well, they're recently built, so they should be good, right? And they have a good food cafeteria as well. There's a lot of different selections that you can make and different types of cuisines all around the world that have their shops open there. So in case you're visiting the headquarters soon, please make sure to check out the food halls at B4 and B6.
I work in a hybrid mode. I come into the office, or I would just go to the campus whenever, if there's a team meeting or team lunch, or whenever I wanted to get more focused time myself. So maybe once or twice a week. And for the other time, I would just working at home and in a remote setting.
I live in Seattle, but our office is in Redmond, so the commute is pretty long. And at first, I had assumed that I would definitely need a car to be able to get around. Thankfully, Microsoft has this connector system. It's just shuttles that take you from the office to different parts around the Puget Sound.
What I heard from Microsoft employees again and again was their favorite part about Microsoft was the people.
I really appreciate the community. I think just because Microsoft is so big, which meaning we have lots of researchers and lots of PMs working on different topics. I appreciate the fact that whenever I have questions or wanted to learn more about certain topics, I have the people I can ask or I can turn to for support. And I love that we have this environment that foster learning together and kind of continuous growth in your career, especially for me. I think I'm kind of in the mid-career myself. I really wanted to just learn from others and also try to exercise in my day-to-day job, just find out those opportunities for learning. I think that was really the key thing.
People are open to having a learning mindset. So it's conducive to learning because everyone's asking questions and everyone is helping each other out.
I always had nothing but amazing managers, nurturing managers that are always ready to have you learn and grow. I'm very happy that I got to be a part of this amazing organization.
That's all for now, folks. Next time, I'll be sitting down with Jason and Beyza to learn more about software engineering at Microsoft.
The connector, it's a Wi-Fi on board, which is sometimes it's a bit, it cuts off. I did lose some messages that I was sending over Teams because of the Wi-Fi cutoff, but it does the job. So